AI is all the buzz, and there are some things that the hype is real, and there are other things that the hype, unfortunately, is just that, and it's too good to be true. But one area where AI really shines is helping with your competitor analysis in order to figure out how to strategically position your brand so that you can dominate the competition and win over as many customers as possible. So if you would like to know some of the ways that we use AI to turbocharge our competitor analysis and research, then let's go ahead and get into things. Hello, my name is Emma Shermer-Tamir. I am the CEO and co-founder of Marketing by Emma, and since 2016, we have been knee-deep, up to our eyeballs, I don't know. We do a lot of competitor research. It is a critical part of putting together any marketing piece of content, be that a blog, be that a product page, be that an Amazon listing, be that a website, whatever it is, you need to understand what the competitor landscape looks like. And up until very recently, I'm talking early 2023, we had to do this manually. So it was going through reviews, it was looking at websites, and it was doing a lot of pretty time-consuming work to try to get a clear sense of what the landscape looked like. And while there are still a lot of things that need to be done manually, if you really want to do that effectively, there are some great ways that you can plug AI into your process to make certain parts of this not only faster, but better. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're reading tens or hundreds of customer reviews, you're not going to have the same pattern recognition abilities as an AI will. So this is where you can save time and get better outcomes than you would if you were just a human doing it on your own. So I'm going to be talking through some of the ways that we use ChatGPT or Claude, or if you have another AI chat tool that you like better, then by all means use it. It should work in much the same way, but these are some of the ways that we've been able to optimize our competitor analysis to make it more effective and get better results. You definitely want to make sure that you are using AI to review your competitors' reviews. This is going to give you so much insight into not only the highs and lows of the products or the brand that you're competing against, but also words directly from the customer's mouth about what they love, what they don't love, and all of that in between. So you want to make sure that you are feeding the AI with the reviews. So sometimes that requires actually downloading those reviews and then uploading them to the AI chatbot of your choice. There are some bots that also have the ability to read live links. So whichever one you're using, you want to first instruct it to read those reviews and then ask it for different outputs based on what it is that you want. So some potential things that you could ask the chatbot would include, what are the top pain points that customers are talking about in their reviews? You could also ask, what are some of the most common complaints that customers have about this product? What are some of the things that customers love most about this product? What are the ways that customers are using this product? So you see, with all of these different things, you're essentially asking the AI to be able to go through those reviews and then pull up the highlights or the commonalities that you may or may not see. You can even ask the AI for what unexpected things are we learning from the customer reviews that we may not have known? What are other questions that we should be asking? By doing all of this, you're getting a greater sense of how the competitor product stacks up, what people love about it, maybe some things that are being neglected or that are not as great about that. And if you have designed your product or brand to be able to address those pain points, then those are golden opportunities for you to be able to then take those and use them in your various marketing efforts. This is also a fantastic way to compare what outputs you get. So now we're taking it to the next level. We have gotten the answers, we've gotten the commonalities, we've gotten the output of the reviews from the chatbot. Now we want to compare those to whatever it is that the competitor has created. So if we're creating an Amazon listing and we are looking at the competitor listing, we want to compare what the reviews have told us to what that competitor has done with their listing, keeping a close eye on things that they might have left out, things that they may not be addressing clearly, or other elements that customers were talking about that are not front and center in the listing. Because ultimately, you need to figure out what you can do so that customers want to choose you over the competitor that's already out there. And that competitor, they might have more reviews. They might have a better price. They might have figured out all of these things. They may have an aggressive advertising campaign. But if you can find those things that customers really care about, that competitor is ignoring, neglecting, or what have you, then that's a golden opportunity for you to be able to swoop in, even if you're a brand new brand that nobody knows about. Another thing that you can do is you can do avatar creation. So a customer avatar is essentially a profile of who your target customer is. And it's very granular. It's very specific. You can have a crystal clear idea of who that customer is so that you can really highly target your content to speak directly to them. Well, that is a pretty time-consuming and more advanced marketing technique that may be a little bit intimidating or overwhelming for the average person. You can use AI to create your own customer avatars, even based off of the reviews that you're reading. So you're not just trying to even think of how to prompt it, but basing that off of the reviews that you've already collected all of this customer data about can be a great starting point so that you have a solid understanding of who your customer is. Now you might be saying, but Emma, we're talking about competitor analysis. Now you're talking about the customer. Well, the customer is a critical part of your competitor analysis because that customer is currently your competitor's customer. So we need to figure out how we can make that customer your customer. And this is one of the ways that we do that. You really want to be thinking first and foremost with every single thing that you do, where can be the point of differentiation? And so as you're doing these different things, as you are using AI, be it with your competitor analysis or for ideation, or even for getting into the creation side of things, which you do want to be careful with that, keeping differentiation front and center is essential to making this as successful as possible. If you'd like to know a little bit more about how you can use strategic differentiation to win over more customers, I will link a video in the eye that talks all about that. And really, this is huge. This can save you so much time. This can also take your efforts to the next level. So before you ever get to putting pen to paper, even maybe before you embark on your keyword research or any of the other stages of your preparation, you want to make sure that you have a really solid process of competitor analysis. And we've talked about the AI component, but you don't want to limit it to that. I would also really encourage you to spend time looking at all of the places that your competitors show up on social media. That includes TikTok, Reddit, Facebook, Quora, LinkedIn, you name it, wherever your customers are hanging out and wherever your competitors have a presence, you want to be clear on how people are engaging, how people are interacting. And why this is so important is because, especially if you are launching something new, you don't have a way of being able to engage with your customers directly yet, because you don't have a product that you're selling them yet. You don't have a brand to engage around yet. And so you can use this information from people who are already doing it to do a lot of that legwork so that you can avoid certain mistakes, so that you can build a lot of strong momentum and make sure to position yourself in a way that you're going to be successful for the long run. And this doesn't just apply to new brands. This is also something that applies to existing brands. Perhaps you've been selling in a space and you were the top dog for a long time. And now there are a lot of scrappy competitors who are doing these steps and who are stealing away some of your pie, and you want to win it back. This is where you should be spending some of your time. So I'd love to know what questions you have, what other topics you'd like to see me talk about. If you found this helpful or valuable, I would love it if you would give me a like, subscribe, do all of the things. It really helps me continue to be able to produce this content and geek out with you on marketing, branding, e-commerce, and entrepreneurship. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.